In 1473, nearly 3 decades after the silent plague of Arenthal began its grim harvest, a letter arrived at the University of Krakow. It was unsigned, sealed with no wax but a folded sprig of wormwood. The handwriting was steady, surgical, and inside were only 6 words. I have lived to 32. No one believed it. No one wanted to. But a young scholar named Tomasz did. She introduced herself as Miloslava, but offered no family name. There is no lineage, she said, only endurance. She invited Tomasz inside, not into a home, but into a cellar carved deep beneath the chapel floor. The air was cold, sweet with something herbal and iron-rich. Along the walls were drawings, skeletal figures with veins of ink spiraling outward like vines. And on the floor 7 wooden chairs, each facing away from the center as though to avoid seeing. His interest in premature death had grown from curiosity to obsession after his older brother collapsed on his 25th birthday, smiling mid-sentence, eyes clouding like frozen glass. A line in history not written in scripture or science. In the 13th century, a sect of herbal mystics known as the Skrytí, or the hidden, discovered a flaw in death's design. A moment precise and rare between the 24th and 25th year of life, when the body's humors aligned in perfect tension. At that moment, with the correct compounds and chance, not magic, but memory, they could bind a person to the moment before decay. Tomasz had watched the body lower into the earth, watched the worms reject it, watched his mother age 10 years in a week. That kind of grief becomes its own kind of fuel. And so when the letter arrived, he followed it. In reality, she was born in 1399. They could endure time like a needle and amber conscious, aware but unmoving. Past Krakow, past the bitter valleys of Bohemia, into the hollow forests of Moravia, where the sun only reached the ground in dying light. There, hidden among the ruins of a Romanesque chapel, Tomasz found her. The world balanced itself. For everyone who stood still, 10 were dragged under. Children, infants, the frail. Death became selective, focused. She was barefoot, pale, eyes the color of pewter. Miloslava had lived, she claimed, not just beyond 25, but beyond time. 32 was a lie meant to soften the truth. Their youth withered so others could float just above the grave. And over time, the Skrytí vanished into whispers, their names erased, their faces forgotten. He heard something moving in the walls, not rats, not wind, but a voice crawling through the stone like blood through a vein. She was 74, and she was not alone. She led Tomasz deeper, past a series of narrow stone doors sealed with salt and silver wire. There, resting against the wall in states of stillness that felt almost prayerful, were others. 3 men, 2 women, none spoke. Their faces were taut, eyes sunken yet lucid like statues mid-thought. Tomasz felt his chest tighten, not from fear, but from something worse, recognition. Each face bore a feature, a nose, a jawline, an iris shade mirrored in the death portraits he had studied in Krakow. These were the same families, but these were not their descendants. These were the same people, frozen at the very edge of youth, stolen from the harvest of 25. Miloslava explained there had been a divergence. Not immortal, not ageless, paused. They would not live, not truly, but they would not die either. But the price was not small, because time resents being denied. For every person who defied the 25th year, another would die sooner. The villagers of Arenthal were among the first sacrifices, but they still existed, silent, waiting, listening. And as Tomasz stood there, among these remnants of stolen time, it spoke one word: return. He fled, but something followed.